Just a few years ago, I never imagined that my room would turn into a classroom. Back then, learning meant sitting in a hard chair, facing a whiteboard, and listening to a teacher speak from the front of a room filled with students. But everything changed when the world turned to online learning. At first, I was confused and unsure. Could I really learn effectively through a screen? I didn't think so. But as time went on, I discovered something surprising. Online learning became one of the most important experiences of my life. It all started during the first few months of the global pandemic. Schools were closed, cities were quiet, and people were staying home. My school sent us an email saying that all classes would be held online. They gave us a list of instructions, a schedule, and a password to log into something called Zoom. I had never heard of Zoom before, and I was nervous about using it. Would my internet work? Would I be able to understand the lessons? Would I feel lonely? On the first day of online classes, I woke up later than usual. There was no bus to catch and no school uniform to wear. I simply opened my laptop, clicked a link, and suddenly I was in class. My teacher smiled from a small square on the screen. My classmates' faces appeared one by one, and it felt strange but also exciting. Instead of raising our hands, we clicked a button. Instead of writing on paper, we typed on digital documents. It was all new. The first few weeks were difficult. I missed the sound of chatting in the hallways, the feeling of walking into a real classroom, and even the school lunches. I found it hard to concentrate at home. There were distractions everywhere. My phone, my bed, the noise from the street. Sometimes the internet would freeze, and I couldn't hear what the teacher was saying. Other times, my mind would wander because I wasn't sitting in a learning environment. I even started feeling a little lazy. But over time, I learned to adapt. I created a study space in the corner of my room, just a desk, a lamp, and my laptop. I made a daily schedule that helped me stay on track. I started waking up at the same time each day and getting dressed like I was going to school. That simple act of changing clothes made me feel more focused and prepared. I also began using online tools like Google Classroom, Quizlet, and Notion to organize my work. Slowly, I started to feel like a real online student. As I became more comfortable, I realized that online learning gave me a kind of freedom I didn't have before. I could review recorded lessons if I didn't understand something. I could study at my own pace and take breaks when needed. Some days, I even studied while sitting in the garden. The flexibility was refreshing. It allowed me to take more control of my education, something I had never really done in a traditional classroom. Another benefit was learning how to manage my time. Without a teacher watching me in person, I had to be responsible for completing my assignments on time. I used digital calendars to plan my weeks. I learned to set small goals, like finishing a chapter or reviewing flashcards, and checking them off one by one. These habits made me feel more productive, and I started applying them to other parts of my life, like exercise and reading. Still, online learning wasn't perfect. I missed face-to-face discussions. Sometimes group projects were hard to coordinate. especially if people lived in different time zones. There were days when I felt isolated or tired of staring at a screen. But I also learned how to deal with those moments. I scheduled video calls with classmates to study together. I took regular breaks to walk around and clear my mind. And slowly, I built a routine that helped me stay motivated. One of the most unexpected things was how much I learned outside of school subjects. I improved my computer skills, learned how to troubleshoot tech issues, and became more confident in online communication. I also discovered that I could teach myself things. For example, I wanted to get better at English pronunciation, so I found YouTube channels and practiced every day. I realized that the internet wasn't just a place to watch videos or scroll social media. It could be my teacher. Now that I've returned to in-person classes, I carry everything I learned with me. I still use digital tools to organize my notes and schedule. I still practice self-discipline and manage my time carefully. And most importantly, I now believe in my ability to learn in different ways. Whether in a classroom, on a laptop, or through a podcast while walking, I know that learning can happen anywhere, as long as I stay curious and committed. Online learning taught me more than just facts. It taught me how to learn. And in a world that's changing so fast, that might be the most valuable lesson of all. If this story inspired you to take learning into your own hands, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more stories that help you grow. And tell me in the comments, what's the most powerful thing you've learned online? Keep learning. Keep growing. The world is your classroom.